same as the humans. They're the same principle as how they work, but they're different because, in fact, the animals are more sensitive, and you would not work with the same substances with them. So gradually we started to see with him is that
so your technique
first he went through a type of detoxing in the sense that he would excrete all of this mucus and so forth from his nose. He would like cough, he would sneeze, it would literally come out. And once it started getting past that, he was having less problems respiratory, less problems. Before we had purchased him, he had been on a lot of substances to maintain him, such as allergy shots and different types of drug therapies. We were able to gradually wean him off of it, so he was no longer on allergy shots, and we weaned him off of everything that he needed to maintain him to be able to breathe even to any normalcy. And he was so sick that you couldn't ride him. I mean, you were lucky if you could get him out of his stall, you know, to let him go out into a pasture and walk around. And he went back to normal function. He's a jumper. He went back to competition. He was champion in his division and totally normal.
Wow. So these formulas, you have them for horses, and you have them for dogs and cats?
Yes, we work with small animals, dogs and cats, a lot of different scenarios.
And it's mostly a gel and a spray and something they can drink.
Yes, yes. The same type of system I do that you would do with humans.
Okay.
In other words, we prepare it, we put it into their bowls, they drink it. We take the same water that they drink and we'll spray their food with it.
Okay.
We mist them, you know, with the water. And take the aloe for the animals, especially like the cats and dogs, massaging their paws. Paws are where they absorb energy. And obviously not only absorb energy, but they absorb toxins through the paws. So you're not only treating them, but it's kind of a preventative to massage the paws. They can lick it, it doesn't hurt them. Our dogs and cats do that. We've had situations where we had a dog with an infection in the ear, and we just took the water that they drink and took a little 4x4 cotton swab and then just washed inside the ear with it. You can wash their eyes and their nose because those are different orifices in the body where they pull toxins in. So that's a good place to cleanse. And you can use the internal formula for that.
Do you know if it helps for parasites at all?
Well, we're in the process right now of working with some veterinarians that we can get specifics on it. But what I can tell you is that we did have a scenario at home with some puppies, and from all clinical aspects, we were told by a veterinarian that they believed that they did have parasites. Now, as you know, it's not always a clinical thing. In other words, they sometimes have to go by clinical symptoms that they detect this. In other words, that they weren't gaining weight, they were becoming very lethargic. That would be common symptoms in an animal. Their coat wouldn't be as good if they had parasites. And so we put them on the water, and their color came back to normal, their appetite came back, their energy was like bounding all over the place, you know. So what I'm saying is in a clinical scenario, we were seeing them improving. As far as the stool cultures are concerned, the vet didn't actually see that they had parasites. But that happens sometimes, where you just don't catch it properly, and then you don't see the parasite at that time, but you can still have a parasitic invasion. But they had all the clinical symptoms. So as far as the vet was concerned, that is what they had, even though on a laboratory test we couldn't catch the parasite per se. But then all the, you know, the manifestations of gaining weight, skin coat being very good, activity normal, you know, for them. So in that, you just draw a conclusion from that of what you were seeing. We've had a cyst from a puppy being neutered. And she got a cyst on it afterwards, and we just used the aloe that had the formula water in it. We sprayed it. Within a couple days, it was gone. Had a dog that was on a farm that someone had thrown a firecracker and he had gotten a burn. It was near his face. The only thing we treated it with was the water, with the aloe, and you could gradually see the healing of the skin. It would gradually come in until it was totally healed. We had a kitten, a litter of kittens. One of the kittens on a farm had gotten attacked by one of the dogs. The dog had grabbed it on its back end. The vet was called in. He believed that there was some spinal injury to it. So what he would do is when he would walk, he would use his normal front legs, but he couldn't use his hind end. He would drag his hind end. And so So the lady called me, she had had some of the water, she had had some of the gel, and wanted to know, as a kid, could she use it? And I said, go ahead, spray them with the water, massage with the gel, and a few days later, a little bit more intimidating, a few days later, a little bit more intimidating. And after so many weeks, except for a little bit of weakness in the one leg, he totally uses his back end now.
Wow. It's amazing.
Yeah. The animals really have taught us a lot of watching what they do and using these formulas and how they change and things that they've had. Clearing them up for things. And they really enjoy it. We've had people say that, cats might not like it because they don't like water. Our cat drinks it. A friend of mine has cats. They drink it. You can spray them with it. They almost kind of instinctively know. In fact, I have a lady that told me she's put out 2 bowls,
Yeah.
and they'll go instinctively to the one that's been treated instead of the other one. They're so sensitive, so fragile to knowing things.
Well, we kept the meditation water in a big gallon jug, and they try to get up and stick their head in it and drink it.
I know, isn't it amazing? Yeah, they really know. Even to the point of someone who's taken the formula water and put it like into a garden.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying that would be like a good thing to do, which it is, like you were saying, and had a dog that ordinarily would not go into that garden. And he didn't eat what was there. He didn't chew the plants, but he liked to lay in it. He would find that spot and he would lay in it. So obviously, energetically, there had to be something that was different in the ground that he could feel, and he'd go and lay in the middle of it.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
It is. Well, good. Thank you.
There was activation, yeah.
So, just tell me what
Activation of the ovaries, yeah.
what your condition was before you took the water, and what your experience has been in a very short.
Well, my condition has been ongoing for a long time. At the time I began the water, I was in a detox state already. The water made that detox intensify, and then it was gone. I have no more problems. And it turned out to be a long time. That's what I mean.
Talk about the change that's occurred. What you're on, how much insulin you're doing in May?
Okay, my insulin use, when I began, I've been diabetic 33 years on insulin the entire time. Insulin use was in the mid to high 20s. It is now as low as 13 units in a day. My blood sugars have stabilized. I'm not as brittle a diabetic as I was termed before. The water brought everyone's attention to the dental problems that had probably played a part in diabetes, in the breast cancer, and all the things that have been a factor in my life. I believe that when the dental problems are eliminated, I don't expect to be on business anymore. My pancreas tests normal. There are other things that are affected, but because of the water, I truly believe that it will not be. I don't know how long it will take. There's no way of knowing on anything like that. Everything is individual.
Okay, so
It will make an effect.
Have you felt any major physical effects?
I'm never sick. I never feel bad. There are some days that I have lower energy, not really. And I think that also has to do with the mind, the emotions, the mental things, which the water also addresses. So I truly believe that I've gone through a cleansing of the mind that continues still, but I definitely have experienced that as far as they're removing different blocks that you become aware of and eliminate because you are aware of. Everything has to do with it.
I was already finished with
question.
Any physical effects that you noticed? I mean, you did have some major rashes and so forth.
Oh yes, I did. I had quite a
For this testing technique, you don't
break
need
out.
to be
I had
really
little
attentive, but
red
it's good if you don't
spots
skip
that
it.
come up for no reason. They would be there. If I didn't itch them, which is very hard not to do, they'd go away in a few days. If you itch them, either in your sleep or whatever, then they're liable to stay for a couple of weeks. But that's part of the cleansing that's going on inside, and your body is not able to release it through the urine. It's coming through the skin. I've used the Turkish spa bath with great relief in that area.
Mhm.
A couple weeks later, they finally put her on the West. That's when they stabilized her knees.
How about your mental capacities? Have you noticed any change with that?
I think that it's definitely better.
Memory? Notice anything about memory?
No, no, I haven't. And I think that a lot of the things that are mental also have to do with the dental problems that I'm experiencing.
24?
There's a lot of bacteria, a lot of junk that's coming from the teeth.
Good, good. Thank you.
The other machine, you mean the PTA machine with the saliva, urine, blood?
No. The other machine, the EAV
EAV
machine.
type machine.
Yes.
Taken in treatment in Mexico. I don't really know. I didn't ask about them anymore.
But you consume the cilantro as an herb.
We had Richard Austin said to eat a handful of parsley and cilantro every 3 days.
Yes. And chlorella is a very good remedy for taking heavy metals out of the body. And you can eat there, you don't have this alcohol problem. You have a very good reaction. You have a 20% energy improvement of chlorella. And it brings up all the weak meridians, and especially here at Triple Warmer, but also other meridians profit a lot, okay?
Yeah.
So with the cilantro as an herb and with chlorella as tablets, I'm sure you can do support your heavy metal detox.
Good.
But then you, of course, want to have no more amalgam fillings, because if you empty your depots, yeah, they can be quickly refilled from the still existing fillings.
Well, that's what we're hoping that the water will neutralize.
Yes, you can think that way, but I would have it exchanged to compound plastic fillings, because they don't have any heavy metals. They have solvents, again, that are not ideal.
Well, the water would take care of it, the salt.
Yes, the water will much easier take care of the solvents than mercury and so forth.
So it's either pull them
Okay.
out or...
Okay, so if you want to, I can talk about the differences between the Prognos device and the EAV device.
Yes.
Oh, this sounds interesting.
All EAV type devices work with a higher, with a stronger electrical current. Okay, so you're basically using a 50 microamp current, and with the Prognos unit you're using an 0.4 microamp current. And so that's about 1/100th less with the Prognos unit than with the EAV type units. And the Prognos unit, the electrical current was established to find disturbances along the meridian. When they compared it with that laser frequency diagnostic that I explained the last time. So basically you can say that with Prognos you pick up the whole meridian, and with EAV type devices you pick up more of a local phenomenon. That's why Voll also came down with certain points, like a sinus point, yeah, and a tonsil point. There's more of a local phenomenon tested in EAV type machines. And the next difference is the probe tip. The probe tip of the Prognos unit is on a spring. It has, when you compress it, it